Tonight, if you sleep somewhere unfamiliar, part of your brain will refuse to rest. Not all of it, just enough. You will toss, you will wake at every creak, and in the morning you will blame the pillow, the mattress, the noise outside, but none of that is the real reason. The real reason is far stranger. Your brain thinks it is standing guard. Scientists have a name for what happens to you on that first night in a new place. They call it the first night effect. And once you understand what is actually happening inside your skull, you will never look at a hotel room the same way again. Here is the strange part. When researchers put people to sleep in a lab for the first time, they noticed something odd in the brain scans. One half of the brain dropped into deep sleep just like normal. The other half stayed lighter, more alert, almost watching. Sleep researchers Yuka Sasaki and Masako Tamaki at Brown University ran the studies that confirmed this. They found that during a first night in an unfamiliar environment, the left hemisphere of the brain stays measurably more active than the right. It responds faster to sounds. It reacts more quickly to anything unexpected. Meanwhile, the right hemisphere sinks into the kind of slow, deep sleep your whole brain is supposed to have. Why would half your brain volunteer for night watch? Because for most of human history, sleep was not safe. Not automatically, not by default. Picture a small group of early humans, generations before agriculture, before walls, before locked doors. Night falls. There is no electricity, no streetlight, nothing to push back the dark. Somewhere out there, predators can see better than you can. Rival groups might be moving, the ground itself could shift, flood, or catch fire from a wandering ember. Sleep, in that world, was the most dangerous thing a human being could do. You are blind. You are still. You are, for hours at a time, the easiest meal or the easiest target in the entire landscape. So evolution did what evolution always does. It found a compromise. Instead of shutting down completely, the human brain learned to sleep in shifts, even within a single skull. One half rests, one half listens. It is not full alertness, it is not full sleep either. It is something in between, built by hundreds of thousands of years of nights where full unconsciousness could get you killed. This is not just a human trick either. Researchers have found strikingly similar patterns in other animals that also face the danger of sleeping in the open. Ducks resting at the edge of a group will often keep one eye open and one half of their brain awake, angled toward the outside of the flock, watching for movement. The duck in the middle of the group, surrounded by others, tends to sleep with both eyes shut. Safety in numbers is not just a saying. It is measurable in brainwaves. You are not a duck. But the wiring is older than you are, and older than ducks are too. It goes back to a much simpler rule written deep into the nervous system of almost anything that sleeps. Unfamiliar equals unsafe, and unsafe means someone has to stay on watch. Here is where it gets personal. Your bedroom at home does not trigger this response. Why would it? Your brain has already mapped every sound that room makes. It knows the hum of the refrigerator 2 rooms away. It knows the specific creak the house makes as it cools at night. None of that gets flagged as a threat, because your brain has filed it under safe, already checked, nothing new here. A hotel room has no file, no history. Your brain has no idea what that particular air conditioner sounds like, what that hallway carries, what that door might do at 2 in the morning. So instead of shutting the guard down, part of your brain leaves it running, just in case. This explains something else too, something researchers noticed almost by accident while studying the first night effect. If you wake someone up during that first unfamiliar night and play a strange sound into their left ear, the more alert side of the brain reacts. Play the same sound into the right ear. The deep sleeping side barely responds at all. Your brain is not sleeping unevenly by accident. It is sleeping unevenly on purpose, with one side quite literally keeping watch over the other. And the effect fades fast. By the second night in the same unfamiliar place, the asymmetry shrinks. The guard stands down, at least partially, because now the room has a file too. It has been checked, nothing happened, it can be marked safe enough. This is why the second night in a new bed is almost always better than the first, no matter what you changed about the pillow or the temperature. There is a psychologist's term for the feeling underneath all of this, described by researchers who study environmental psychology and sleep. Threat assessment does not require conscious thought to run. You do not decide to feel uneasy in a new room. Something older than your decision-making mind runs a quiet background check the moment you lie down and only reports back to your conscious awareness as a vague, hard-to-name unease. You just call it not sleeping well. Think about how much of your daily life still runs on this exact same old software. You feel it the first day in a new job, scanning the room for who might be a threat to your standing before you have even unpacked your bag. You feel it the first night in someone else's house, waking at a sound you would have slept through in your own. You feel it, even now, in a video call with strangers, some old part of you quietly cataloging faces, tone, movement, deciding who is safe. None of this is weakness. None of this is anxiety in the clinical sense, though it can certainly feed it. This is simply an ancient monitoring system doing exactly the job it was built to do, using tools built for a world of open ground and real predators now running quietly under the surface of a Tuesday night in a hotel outside the airport. Modern life has removed almost every real threat that once justified this system. Locks exist, alarms exist, entire cities of strangers sleep within a few feet of each other every single night without incident. And still, your nervous system has not been told the danger is over. It cannot read a news report that says the crime rate is down, or a hotel review that says the neighborhood is safe. It only understands one thing: familiar or unfamiliar. So the next time you find yourself wide awake at 3 a.m. in an unfamiliar bed, listening to every sound the building makes, understand what is actually happening. You have not failed to relax, you have not chosen the wrong hotel. Half of your brain has quietly volunteered for a job that has not been necessary for thousands of years, and it is simply too loyal to stop. Tonight, if you sleep somewhere unfamiliar, part of your brain will refuse to rest. And now you know exactly why. It is not standing guard against the dark outside your window. It is standing guard against a world that stopped needing it a very long time ago and never got the message.